Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another one of my Legends of Tomorrow videos and my review of the 5th episode of Season 3. Now I'm not sure if any one of you have watched the TV series Sleepy Hollow. The villain of the first season of said series was Mallus, and the whole situation that went down on last night's episode with Eleanor, the darkened black eyes, and the deep villainous ghostly voice kind of reminded me of him. So I'm actually kind of thinking Mallus is gonna be this paranormal, supernatural, otherworldly kind of villain, sort of a Stranger Things, upside down kind of villain. Now this would also be supported by the fact that we'll soon as well be seeing John Constantine on Legends of Tomorrow over a 2-episode arc starting with the 10th episode. However though, while this week's episode started cluing us in on Mallus, we're nowhere close to having the kind of information needed to say for certain who he is. But we can still kind of speculate on whether or not the theories that exist or the ones that come to light hold any kind of water. Take for example my theory on either Damien Darhk or his daughter Nora Darhk being Mallus. As of this moment, I could say with 90% certainty that these two theories are out of the picture. Given what happened on last night's episode with Eleanor, who's basically Nora Darhk, Damien Darhk's daughter, being controlled by Mallus, I don't think Mallus is either Damien or her. Now a small group of fans are actually speculating that Mallus is Gary. That does not really make all that much sense in my opinion, even though the nerdy looking, evil once he takes his glasses off villain trope is not really all that far-fetched. But the one theory though that actually sounds kind of plausible here is all about the woman who kind of resurrected Kuwasa on the 2nd episode of the season. A lot of fans actually believe that was Ava Sharp, or at least that it was someone who sounded a lot like her. Now I personally didn't get that feeling when I watched the scene the first time. I didn't get it when I went back and watched it a second time as well. And after watching last night's episode, I think she sounds a lot like Nora Darhk. But regardless of who that woman who looked like the time trapper was, Ava Sharp is quite possibly involved with Mallus. Let's look at the evidence I want to present here. For the first few episodes of the season, it seemed that Ava Sharp's biggest problem with Rip was allowing the legends to roam the time stream. Yet, she would make a deal with Sara on last night's episode, allowing the legends to continue with their conquest in return for giving up Rip. Is it because Rip is obsessed by Mallus enough it makes him a threat? Or is it just because Sara was right and he's a cold son of a bitch who trusts no one and betrays every entity and group he works with or for? But enough talk about Mallus for now, because he's gonna be a weekly thing we're gonna have to talk about with the events of each and every episode. Now before I venture into sharing my stray comments for this episode, let me remind you that I've got a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway running across all my DC TV videos. And all you've got to do to be eligible to win is be a subscriber and drop a relevant comment down below. I'll be announcing the winner of this giveaway on the first DCTV video that I upload on or after the 9th of November. Well, let's get to discussing my stray comments and list the top moments for last night's episode. Number 1. Now the show isn't wasting time working on the attempts to break Firestorm. It all starts with Ray and Jax working on it in secret, and by the end of the episode, Martin has found out and he's all in. Stein just wants to get out of this situation and get back to his daughter and newly born grandchild. So yeah, as I've stated over the past few weeks, Victor Garber is leaving the show, and both him and the character of Martin Stein are gonna be missed. Number 2. Now when it comes to Zari, the series seems to be going full-on character development. The conversation about everyone's choice of food, wanting to change time and save their family, and finally, Mecca is that way. They're kinda slowly building up a mix of funny and serious for her character, and I'm liking it. There is as well the connection that Amaya tells her about, which will be extremely interesting to understand and explore further with episodes to come. It most definitely adds to the mystery of the season as well. Number 3 though, Mick is as usual a star on this episode. From his eyeglasses to reading Bram Stoker's Dracula, to living his entire life wanting to kill a vampire, to stabbing the dead guy on the coroner's table, he just never ceases to crack me up. Number 4. Now even though I did talk a lot about Mallus early on this video, there is a lot of information that we got about him on this episode. He is an ancient evil soul, and while the anachronisms forming a pattern are the creation of the legends, the outliers are actually his very own creation. Number 5 though. Courtney Ford makes her first appearance as Madame Eleanor, or in other words, Damien Darhk's daughter, Nora Darhk. Now the moment she made her appearance, and knowing that she would be playing Damien Darhk's now grown-up daughter, it was kinda safe to assume he was the one Grandpa Stein was trying to resurrect. It all kind of just felt extremely interesting, with the show moving to this fast pace when compared to the previous filler and funny episodes. It also kind of felt pretty good with them giving us our fix of Victor Garber before he exits the show, having him play 2 roles on this episode. But finally, number 6. Damien Darhk makes one hell of a magnificent entrance there, and the whole dancing, fighting scene that followed was entertaining to watch all the way. Now even though this version of Damien Darhk was resurrected in the late 1800s, he's basically the post-season 4 of Arrow Damien Darhk. So that is basically why he remembers the events of last season of Legends, that he met these people before. However though, there was some sort of a plot hole there because Sara used the Men in Black-like technology on Damien Darhk on the finale of Season 2 to make sure that he remembers nothing of the events of that season. But anyway, I can accept a few plot holes here and there if they don't really affect the overall story of the entire season. I just don't think I should be sitting here and whining about a plot hole or two. But that's all I've got for this week's episode of Legends of Tomorrow, and all in all, it was a pretty good episode. So far, Legends of Tomorrow is my second favorite Arrowverse series this season. In terms of this week's episodes as well, and until Arrow airs tomorrow, it's Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, and at the bottom of the list, The Flash. Supergirl is actually getting a lot better storytelling at the moment than The Flash and seeing a lot of improvement over its second season. And since we're talking about The Flash, I'm not going to be doing a Flash review this week. I'm quite irritated by the performance of the show so far. The Flash is basically doing what Arrow did with Felicity on Season 4. They are pretty much taking this whole The Tonight Show with Iris West way too far and beyond our wildest and crappiest expectations. Having Felicity on last night's episode trying so hard to sound funny was horrid as well. I mean, Felicity's strongest suit is funny, yet the writing just keeps getting worse and worse for her, giving her shit lines and expecting the audience to laugh anyway. Besides that, and to be honest here, the actress was overacting the role on last night's episode. That's basically one other horrible thing she has going on for Felicity. On another note though, the highlights of last night's episode were all about 1. Caitlin going Killer Frost even though her secret was nothing worthy of all the hype they built around it during Comic-Con. 2. The final scene with DeVoe, the hovering chair, and the Weeper. 3. Ralph Dibny being the new comic relief on The Flash. And 4. The portrayal of the blacksmith by Katie Suckoff. The accent and the voice, that was all very entertaining. But on one final note, I'll be posting a theory video later on this week or maybe during the weekend about the Thinker and his endgame. My theory there is gonna be basically based on the kind of metas he has at his disposal so far, coupled with his pre-season character description. But with that being said, I've really got nothing more to say here, so let me know in the comments what you thought of last night's episode of Legends of Tomorrow. Let me know as well what you think of The Flash in general so far and what you thought of last night's episode in specific. Feel free as well to share your theories and your thoughts on who Mallus might be in the comments down below. And remember to tune in for the first video I upload on the 9th or on the 10th, that being my review of either Arrow or Gotham, to find out who won the giveaway. But you can as well finally let me know if you like the content of this video by dropping it a much appreciated like. And while you do that, you can always subscribe and enable notifications for my future videos. And until I see you next time, thank you for tuning in and have a good one.